Good afternoon and welcome to Through the Static. This is Stephen the Medium, your host, and I'm really excited to be here today because the last 2 weeks I haven't been able to be here, and I'll explain in a second. But the first thing I've got to say is that my sidekick, Coach Elix, is not here today. I know Mark made some announcement on his show, but Elix is in Texas and he is doing, as we speak right now, I was just telling Mark, he's doing his presentation. And anyone who knows Elix knows he's just fantastic. I mean, he's brilliant, he's smart, he's amazing. And this is a retreat that he is, this company did this retreat, and I think it's 2 days. I could be wrong on that, but I do know that Elix got a very big slot. I mean, if not the biggest slot. Well, it is the biggest slot from 12 to 5. So he texted me halfway through, and I think they're an hour behind. So right when we're finishing this show, he'll be finishing his presentation, and then they're going to take him out to dinner. But he said it was going amazing, and I am not surprised. So I miss him, and this is the first time I am alone in the house since we moved here last November, because neither one of us have gone anywhere. And I just can't believe, on a side note, no one's like offered dinner for me or anything. People know that I'm a mess in the kitchen and I will just disintegrate and just die if people don't feed me. And no one said anything, Mark. And Mark's in the house too, producing the show. And I'm kidding. Well, I'm not really kidding. I would have came. I would have went. I would have went over for someone's house for dinner. But I'm managing. Yesterday I went and got a salad at this really nice little sub shop. Garden salad with tuna, so it was really good. And tonight, I don't know yet what I'm going to do at 6 o'clock. But yes?
You should have came here and done the show live. Mom would have fed you.
Darn it. Now you tell me, Mark. Now you tell me. But thank you, and I know your mom, as Elix, and I love her. She would have. But before I get into the next break and start taking calls, I got to get a couple of things out. So my Halloween events, I was just saying on Facebook Live, now that the weather's changing, it feels Halloweeny and fall. You got to go, if you're local, to stephenthemedium.com/Halloween and get tickets. There's still some tickets left open. It's going to be at the Canton Town Club. It is, oh my God, someone even helped me on Facebook Live. It's the 28th. It's a Thursday. The Thursday before Halloween. It's live. I'm going to be there. It's a great venue. I'm going to go to every single table. I am encouraging people to dress up. I mean, how cool is it to come to an event to dress up? You don't have to, but there's going to be a costume contest, and there's going to be some raffles and my notes, and I'm really excited about it. And the great thing about it is, if you're not local and listening and you want to do a Halloween event with me, I'm going to do a virtual one on Halloween night, the 31st, from 7 to 9, and that's going to be doing readings on Zoom and doing notes. So I'm really excited about that. So you can get information and get either tickets or register for either of the event, stephenthemedium.com/Halloween on my website, but I cannot wait to do that. And I was telling also people on Facebook Live that I spoke to the director today that is finishing up the documentary I was part of. I filmed, if you don't know this, I filmed a documentary in April of this past year. God, it seems like it's so long ago, because it was in P-Town, and I was part of the documentary. It wasn't just all about me. I was just part of this documentary, and I think I can actually say what it is, and I think it is... well, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't, because I got to check to make sure I'm right that I can. But in any case, it's a fantastic documentary. I think it's going to be out this year. The director said that he gave till November 1st to close this all up. And the greatest thing about this is that the director emailed me something probably about 3 weeks ago, and I've just been so busy with readings and everything else going on that I never got back to him. So 2 days ago, today's Wednesday, so Monday I got back to him, and he sent me something and asked me, to tune in to the subject matter of the documentary. So I did. So she came in and, I emailed him Monday and said to him, because he told me about the November 1st deadline, and said that, there may or may not be a resolution in this documentary, but either way, it's going to be like amazing and I'm really excited about it. But I said in my email, the subject of this documentary said to me that you have connected so many dots and that there's more to come. So my last line to him was, let's just, stay positive. And because he wants a resolution to this documentary, but I said, stay positive and let's see what the next couple of weeks bring, especially if he's going till November 1st and that's it. Do you know he called me today to say that somebody that was connected to this documentary found this envelope with this possible pertinent information on the resolution of this case or more help for this particular case, and it's been laying there. It's from the 70s, and just reached out to the director and said, I found this. I didn't even realize I had this, and sent it to the director. I'm like, talk about me saying, let's see what the next couple of weeks bring. This was 2 days that she told me that there was going to be some more information. So I'm really, really excited. I'm hoping that soon, I'm going to check in with him tonight and see if I can land like maybe even an approximate date of when this will be coming out. And I also need to find out exactly how it's coming out. Like look, what media is going to be used. I know he had mentioned to me at the beginning that Cape Cod Media had signed on and potentially PBS, but that's just me in my head saying that. I don't know officially who's going to show this documentary, but no matter what, I'm really, really excited about it, and I cannot wait. I mean, he's such a great guy. Even putting aside his skills as a director, as a producer, he's just such a good guy, and is just, he's one of those guys that just wants to make sure everybody's happy and that everybody is portrayed in a good way, and that's just I think a reflection of someone who loves their job, and I think based on that love it gives him the ability to be able to crack things open, or take layers off the onion and just try to get some more information. All I can tell you is that this is a documentary on something that clearly, as I mentioned, has never been solved since the 70s. So, and I was brought in as one of the mediums, and I filmed twice. I filmed at the grave, and I filmed with two sons of one of the key players that is no longer with us, but was very, very connected in to this documentary in the 70s. So I got to go into the house where these two adult sons now grew up, and it was really, really cool, and got to meet so many great people across the street, the hotel, the two guys that own the hotel, their husbands, they were there, and Helix and I got to meet them, and we've become really, really good friends. So it's amazing when you're on your path and you're doing what you want to do and you love what you're doing, not just about the tasks. Like when I was asked about doing this, and I forget how many people he reached out to just to get a flavor, mediums I'm talking about, and he said every single medium said yes to it, and he had to narrow it down to 3, and I think he talked to 30 something mediums, and I was one of the lucky ones. That was one of the 3, which was so great. But then, part of that is like these little branches that reach out, that, you these unexpected gifts that like the two guys that we met. It's pretty amazing. And I it may sound corny, but it was my first, like on the mediumship role, it was my first time that we got a hotel room, and it was paid by the documentary. I thought I was, big stuff. Like, I'm getting, and Elix came with me, which was so cool. But it was, it's those the more times I think that you are grateful for anything that you have, and everybody has something to be grateful for. It's more like, I call it the grateful tree. The more fruit that's produced on that, and the grateful tree just stops dropping your gifts and your connections. And so the grateful tree is something that you want to be very familiar with, and you want to keep with you very, very close. And, it's not a bad thing every single day to maybe just pick out one thing. I mean, some people pick out 5 things, just one thing to be grateful for. And I'm telling you, you'll start seeing things change. So it's time for my first break. When I come back, I am going to start taking callers. 508-222-1320 is the number. So if you or somebody you think needs a reading, I'm here, and I'm going to start doing what I love as soon as we come back from the break. So hold on. And welcome back to Through the Static. This is Stephen the Medium, your host. And I said to Mark on break, Mark, give me a second. I forgot to set my intention to do these readings. Intention, whether you're doing a reading or doing a presentation or want a new job, it's so crucial. I'll need another whole show for that. But let me go to the first caller. I almost said next caller. I must already be speaking to people in spirit. Hi, who's this?
Kristen.
Hi, Kristen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good also, Kristen, and I'm happy to have you as my first caller. So, Kristen, I meant to announce this at the beginning of the show, and I forgot. Is there someone, I normally don't do this, but is there anyone that in particular you want to hear from, or you want me just to do like a hodgepodge? It's up to you.
You could do a hodgepodge.
I love it, Kristen. All right, so okay, so there's a really, really strong father energy that's stepping forward, and he keeps. Is this your dad?
No, my dad's still with us.
So grandpa or father-in-law, he presents himself as a. Do you have a father-in-law who's crossed?
I do not. I have a grandfather.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be then a grandfather. But he just said to me, the first thing I want. Oh, Kristen, it's not a grandfather. He just said to me, I'm how the hell old do you think I am? He's funny. He's a younger guy, but who was a dad. But he died. Yeah. He said young male, which means 60s or younger. He died. So this is not a grand. Do you have any clue who this is?
I might. I have a friend that just passed away not too long ago.
Oh my God! Did he have kids?
He did.
Oh, so he keeps saying two. I don't know if he's one of two or he has two kids.
He has 2 children.
Yeah, so no, it's him. He's funny, Kristen. He's really funny, and he's so excited that you're here and said, tell Kristen I got her through. These lines are crazy, Stephen, but I got her through. And he just said to me, Kristen, I not only love you, but will you please do me a favor? And first of all, make sure you know that I'm with you every second. I mean, I know you said a friend, but he's got a very close, really close connection with you, Kristen.
Yes, we were connected.
Yeah, but he just said to me, make sure you know that I am now a cheerleader for you. So I am with you. And my God, Kristen, he said, I sort of kind of had this feeling, I don't know if he's talking about the conversations you guys have had. He said, but Kristen, you are stagnant. You've got to move forward. Like you've got so much. He's like, Stephen, she's so gifted in that she just is blah about like parts of her life. And it's parts that of that connect with her internally. So why he says that, Kristen, is just and believe me, it's a full-on compliment. He's saying you've got a lot. He's like, she's got he swears too, by the way.
He does.
He didn't say anything really bad, but he's swearing. I'm like, I can't say that. Who's Bob or Barbara? Who's the B connected to you? There's like a Brian or Bob or Barbara or connected to him. There's the B, and there's also Michael or Mary.
His daughter's name begins with a B.
Oh, so it's her. I love it. So he's giving a reference to his daughter. And then there's also, I don't know, first name, middle name, last name, but there's an M name. So this also could be connected to you, not to him. Just somebody stepping. It feels like Michael. You don't have a Michael connected to you?
Not that's past, no.
No, or living.
Yes, I do.
So that's, I mean, people always think it's just past, but they're giving as a validation to whoever. Was Michael like an ex? Who is Michael?
He's my ex-husband.
Oh my God! Wow, I thought so. That's now it's your grandfather, and your grandfather said that he resents saying he's old looking when your other friend came through and they're laughing together. Your grandfather is very funny. This is your dad. Both are here, but well, I can't tell. Both grandfathers are talking, but your grandfather's the one that said Michael's the ex. So just keep that. Make sure you know that. It's a great way, Kristen, to let you know that they're watching, and just make sure you keep with you what a fantastic soul you are, and that you've got a lot more to do here in this physical world. So I'm going to leave you with that, Kristen. So lots of love to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye. And let me go to the next caller.
Hi.
Hi, this is Stephen. Who's this?
Melinda.
Hi, Melinda. I love your name, Melinda.
Thank you.
So let me connect and see what's going on, Melinda. This is really I talked on Facebook Live about people that I speak to that are really connected, and you, my friend, are one of them. You're very, very connected to spirit. I don't know if you know that, but just make sure you keep that with you. And by the way, maybe I do have ADHD, like Helix says. I meant to say, do you have a specific person, or you want me just to bring through whoever's coming for you?
Whoever has a message for me.
All right, perfect. So, there's a couple of things here. There's a really, really, really strong mother energy. I don't know if this is grandma or mom. It's one of them, but it feels like a grandmother. Is your mom still here?
My mom's still living. It's my grandmother.
Ann. Who's Ann? Who's it sounds like Ann, Angela. There's an A name, first name, middle. Your middle name's not an A.
No, my middle name's not an A.
Well, who's the there's a really, really strong A, first name, middle name, last name that your grandmother just. It's Anna. It sounds like Ann.
So my maiden last name starts with an A.
Oh, so that must be it then.
That's paternal grandmother.
Yeah, well, it's definitely your grandmother. Your maternal grandmother just said, "I know everything. I can say everything. I can go every side." That grandmother's funny, Melinda. But your grandma just said, both are here. But your mom's mom just said to me, "Tell my granddaughter I love her and I'm always with her." And she just wants to give that as that. I wasn't sure if a middle name or maiden name, because they don't say maiden. I asked you your middle because they squeeze it in between two names. In any case, your grandmother just said to me two things. One, there's an anniversary or birthday really close. You got something connected. You, your mother, your father, your friends, something is what is that?
It was her passing that just passed on September 10th.
Wow. So that's mom's mom?
Yes.
I love her. I love when spirit gives their own. They start off with their own validations that it was her anniversary. And she just said to me, Melinda wouldn't be surprised at that, Stephen. Just saying. I love your and her husband or grandfather is crossed too, right? There's a grandfather here that steps forward. Well, let me ask you something. What's with the shoes? There is something with shoes. I almost wanted to say, when your grandmother said shoes, that maybe someone's got like a fetish or someone loves shoes.
I love shoes.
I love, but it's more than that, this validation, because your grandmother makes me feel like it's did someone bowl? Did someone connected you go bowling?
No.
Or roller skating?
I used to roller skate as a kid.
Yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of kids roller skate, right? It's probably not the best validation, because a lot of kids, when they're young, roller skate, but no, this isn't roller skating. This is bowling. Somebody is bringing up a memory of bowling that maybe it's even like in a circle, Melinda, like friends, that someone has a son, daughter, or they bowl. It used to. It's like a bowling league. It's kind of funny too, because I know our producer, Melinda. I'm having you part of the show now. Our producer, Melinda, that my producer was on a bowling league, which is kind of interesting. But this is connected to you. And who's John or Jim or James or Jane? Who's the George? Who's the G or J connected to you?
Oh,
there's so if that doesn't pop up immediately, then there's a junior, meaning that someone's name was handed down. It doesn't have to be technically a junior, but go ahead.
Yep. So my son is a junior, and I was going to mention his middle name is an A, starts with an A.
Oh, so it wasn't yours; it was your son's. I love that.
I guess so.
And I love that they're giving that also as a validation about your boy. But is your boy the only boy or only the oldest? I just heard one.
So, yes, I only have one.
Wow. So how cool is it that everybody in spirit's just giving the number one, to give that as a great validation? And your grandmother just said to me, the greatest thing that happened to my granddaughter was having her son, and she says that because of, make sure you remember and always keep with you what a great, fantastic, phenomenal mom you are. I just keep hearing that. And there's something with cars. Someone just did something with the car. Someone like works on cars. There's a registration and inspection, but there's something with did someone like do something, work with cars, like as a mechanic, or like love cars and
Yeah.
just who is that?
So my father was a mechanic.
And your father's crossed?
No, he's living.
Oh, so a nice validation to your dad that was a mechanic. I love that. It's also your paternal side stepping forward and giving that also as a validation. You know what? I have to take a break, but I'll tell you something, Melinda. I just heard that you give like the best hugs. Such a beautiful compliment from Spirit, and how much. And remember what I said at the beginning. You're really, really connected. So you're the one that should be really looking for signs, because you can find them very, very easily. So just make sure you keep that with you, okay?
Absolutely, I will do.
I love it, Melinda. Listen, lots of love, and you have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, and we will be right back. You all right there, Mark?
I hear.
And welcome back to Through the Static. This is Stephen, the medium, your host. Before I go to the next caller, I just have to quickly say this. I'm finishing with Melinda, and I asked her about bowling. And right as I was finishing with Melinda saying we're going to break, a guy just like pats me on the side of my arm and says, I'm Mark the producer. I'm Mark's grandfather, and you were talking about bowling, so I figured I'd step forward and just quickly let Mark know I love him, I'm here with him, I'm proud of him. So on the break, I said to Mark, you were, as I mentioned on the show, you were in a league, and Mark said he was in many leagues, and I said, a grandfather stepped forward and keeps giving me the S name, like first name or last name. And Mark, what did you tell me?
My grandfather, actually my step-grandfather, his last name is Zuzakowski. Nice Polish name.
I should have picked, and that, by the way, does begin with an S, S-Z. I should have known that as I am a Pole. But and Mark said to me, when he was listening to the conversation with Melinda, because he's got so much experience and a longevity with bowling, he almost tuned in or chimed in and said, maybe I bowled with Melinda, your grandfather, and here's his grandfather. So, Mark, that was a connection that you knew your grandfather on some level was stepping forward. So I just and I've never read Mark. No. Right, 3 years we've been doing the show. I have never read you. You never talked about your grandparents. It's pretty wild that your grandpa is giving you a big hug. So I love that.
Maybe someday, if there's ever a lull in the calls, which I doubt, if we ever have a few minutes to fill, that may be fun.
I would think I would love to do that. I mean, I know on when we leave and your mom's been in the lobby, I know I've read her like a mini reading, which was cool. But I've never read you, so which is kind of wild. So I love it. And thank you, Grandpa. Mark's grandpa, thank you for coming forward. I love it. So let me go to, and Mark, thank you for sharing that with me.
You're welcome.
So let me go to the next caller. Hi, this is Stephen. Who's this?
Hi, this is Megan.
Hi, Megan. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, Megan. So, Megan, you got a lot. Is there a particular person you want to come through, or you just want a hodgepodge of anyone who wants a message for you?
Yeah, let's see who wants to give me a message.
Okay, I love it. I love it. There's Megan. There's actually a lot here. This is really interesting. Is that the first thing, I don't know if I've ever started a reading like this, but the first thing I just heard before I even tell you who's here, from your loved ones, were saying that if you're lucky enough to be in Megan's circle, you should count your blessings, because she's the most empathetic, caring friend. I think it's such a beautiful thing that your loved ones, and these are loved ones that you've never even met, like grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, all sort of addressing you that way to start off with. I think it's really nice. And you're also another one very, very connected. There's a lot of angels, by the way, on a side note, around you. I don't know if you like angels, connect to angels, if somebody else connects to angels, but they're floating all around your head. Does someone like angels?
Oh, I have angels. How can you not like angels?
Well, people love angels, right? But this is not just about loving angels. This is about either someone who prays to angels, or just collects angels, that kind of deal. So just keep that with you. Who's Tom, or the Teresa, or the Tina? Who's the T connected to you? You still there? Either living across, or it could be a first name, it could be a middle, last name. But well, let me ask you something, Megan, before I go on. Did someone golf? Was there a golfer, or is a golfer in your family or connected to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my dad golfed.
But is your dad still here?
No.
So just know, when the T letter is the only letter in the alphabet that it's for a name as well as golfing. I don't know why Spirit did that to me, but it's like we got a T off, so I have to always ask about golfing. Just know it's a way that your dad is giving you a validation that it's him stepping forward, and also with the T, teacher. There was or is a teacher somewhere connected to you.
Yes,
either
there's a lot
living, connected to you.
Connected to, I'm not a teacher, but my sisters are. My grandmother was.
I love it. I love it. I love the fact that your dad just gave that as a validation because of it. And your father just said, talk about the piece of jewelry. It looks like a locket. Did someone have something that opened up? I don't know if this is a pendant, if this is a ring, if this is was somebody cremated that someone distributed ashes?
I still have my father's ashes. My sister distributed my father's ashes all around the country.
God. Oh my, this is your dad's ashes?
my dad's ashes. My sister
Wow.
went cross
Wow.
country and stopped at all of the places she thought he would like.
Oh my God, Megan, how cool is that your dad gave that as a validation with the ashes being distributed? I didn't know what he was talking about, but wow, just it's your dad just saying, Megan, it's me, Megan, it's me. You are, I know you talked about a sister, you're different. You're different from the siblings, like your father said, she's a one of a kind. This daughter is a one of a kind, Megan. Like everybody knows that knows her. And he said, Stephen, I count my blessings every day when I was here, as well as when I'm now in spirit, that I have my family. But of course, I'm talking to you, so he's referencing you, and that he loves that you are who you are, and said, I never want, she goes by the beat of her own drum. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And how, Megan, he loves that. He just said to me that this is so cool, Megan, that the females in your lineage are so also proud of you, that you are the way you are, because so many of them, and just like what happens with so many people when we're in this physical earth, have to live based on what they think people think they should be, or they don't do what they want. And your father said, let me just tell you, when he got into spirit, he said a lot of spirit said Megan was a handful of us watching her, like in spirit. Like, I don't know what you were like as a kid, but let me just tell you something. They're saying because you had all your loved ones in spirit following you, protecting you, watching you, and they said they were tired at the end of the day. How wild is that? Do you have children?
I don't have any children.
Your father just talked about the boy, but it's in spirit. So somebody miscarried. Someone lost a child.
I miscarried.
Wow. Oh my God. So I love this, Megan. I know sometimes this is, it can be emotional. Sometimes it can be weird. It's beautiful. But your son just said to me, like your dad brought him through, and your son just said, I don't ever want my mom to say I don't have any kids, because she does. I have been with my mother every single step of why does he say two? He just said, maybe keep that with you. Maybe he was like conceived in February, or something happened on the 2nd of February is the second month, or someone he's giving a validation to February, like a birthday or an anniversary, or the 2nd of a month. He just said two. So just make sure you have animals.
Yes, I do.
You have two?
Nope. I have 4.
I just said to him, "What's the two?" And that's why I asked you about animals, and he referenced the animals. I don't know why he split the two. Is it 2 guys, 2 girls? I don't know, but that's what he did. He split them two. Maybe 2 related. I don't know what the 2 is. Just keep it with you, Megan. But just know that your son, you didn't know whether it was a boy or a girl, did you?
I did not know.
So how great is it that now you do, that it's a boy, and that Megan, not only does he protect you, but just keeps talking about how someone also he talked about someone. He's talking about you, and just said, Stephen, the one thing I want to say about my mom is how strong she is. You're not going to find anybody stronger, because she's been through some very, very difficult times. And the strength that my mom has is unlike anybody else. So just make sure you keep it with you, because there feels like there was like depression, or something, like someone being very, very sad. That could be a multitude of things, but just make sure, Megan, the point of this is your son saying how amazing you are and how strong you are, and you need to make sure you keep that with you. And by the way, there's a change coming up for you. This some kind of, I don't know if this is, if you're like if you just moved or are moving, or there's a profession, there's something, or somebody no, it's a move. Somebody connected to you is moving or just moved. There's a move somewhere. So just make sure you keep it with you if it doesn't resonate, okay?
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
You have 30 seconds because I got to take a break and I don't want to cut you off. So tell me, ask me.
All right. So I have one of my dogs. My dad used to call a boy, and they were very close. And he's on his last legs, and I'm going away for 10 days, and I'm just like on edge of what I should do or how I should go about it.
So I know I said move. Just know that was what your dad was giving as a reference. The move in the sense of that you're moving from the house or going on vacation, and that's also why. Remember, Megan, why your father and son brought up the animals, and your father just said nothing will change. Based on you leaving, so don't worry about it. As difficult as that is, and I'm an animal lover too. Just make sure you know that. Just make sure you know that, and everything will move forward the way it's supposed to. And you've got your loved ones watching, so watching those your babies. Keep that with you, Megan. Yeah. And thank you so much for letting me do this. Lots of love to you, and thank you, Megan. And we'll be right back. And welcome back to Through the Static. This is Stephen the Medium, your host. And let me go to the next caller. Hi, this is Stephen. Who's this? Hi, who's this?
It's Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. How are you?
It's Stacy.
Stacy, so do you
How
want...
are you?
I'm so good, Stacy. So do you want a particular person or you want just whoever comes through? You tell me.
A particular person.
Okay, so who is it? Like your father, mother, son, daughter, husband? Tell me who it is.
It's a cousin.
Okay, cousin.
He just passed 2 weeks ago tomorrow.
Wow.
Suddenly.
Okay.
And we don't even know why yet. Yeah.
Okay, so who's Robert or Bobby? There's a
I have
why
a
does
son. I have a son. I have a son that has passed. His name was Robert.
Oh my! I just I just but the cousin that passed is a guy too, right?
No.
Oh, it's a woman.
Yes.
I get, well, I'm asking like there's another option. Of course, then it's a woman. Wow. So just know, Stacy, that your son just sort of intercepted that reading just to say hi and how much he loves you. I think that's like the coolest thing. So, but the reason why I asked about
last time too. Yeah.
I love that. But the reason why I was asking, and I don't want to interrupt, but I'm short on time and I want to get as much as I can get in. So there's another guy, by the way. And I love you. Your cousin is the sweetest thing because I just looked at her and said, I thought you were a guy. And she just said, no, others want to come through. I'm like, but your cousin wants you through. She's very, very sweet. But keep in mind, there's another young guy in spirit, but he died 60s or younger. I don't know if this is an uncle or grandfather, but he's also here along with your son. But so let me get to the person that you asked, your cousin. Your cousin just said to me that she didn't have the easiest life. I don't know what she's talking about, but she just said based on like internally and how she felt, or was she alone?
No, she lived with her mom and her son and her brother.
But I meant it in the sense of like a spouse or a husband or a boyfriend.
She didn't have anyone, right?
I should have clarified that.
She didn't have
Stacy, in my head, I know what they're saying, but I guess I have to make sure I say it correctly. The reason why I said that is because
never married. She was never married. Yeah.
That's what Stacy. That's what she's talking about. That for her, in her perspective, and she said when she was in the physical world, like her not having a marriage or having that connection is something that bothered her a lot, and it's just one of those things that she wants to give that as a validation. And now in spirit, she just said, just tell my cousin Stacy how at peace I am, and how the worst part about this is she talked about the jewelry. The jewelry. She never gave you something, or you gave her something? Why does she keep talking about jewelry? So just when, with her family, with her mother, just make sure, it's a heart. Why does she keep talking to you about the heart, Stacy? There's something with the heart. I don't know if you've got a piece of jewelry that's heart-shaped, or she did, but there's something with a heart, and it's not I know you said you didn't know that, you don't know how she died. That's not what she's talking about. She's talking about a heart. So just keep it with you. There's a reason why she's giving that to you.
Something between her and her mom. I don't know.
It could be, and that's but she also just keeps thanking you for just being there. I don't know if you were close to her, if you talked to her. All I can tell you is that, and also like as a figure that she sort of looked up to about who you are, and it's just a great validation that she wants to give as a compliment. And what's with the shoes also? Was she connected to like a fireman or a policeman or somebody who did something that would need specific shoes? That's what she keeps talking about.
Her brother was a fireman EMT.
Wow. So know that's why,
but
and it's a way.
Her sister just told me she had boxes of shoes also, that they were going through her things, and she had boxes and boxes of shoes. She loves shoes.
I love it. I love it, Stacy. I love that's why she's giving that as a validation. This is about making sure, that you definitely know it's her. She's here. And she also just keeps putting her hands out saying everything is okay. Everything will be okay. Nothing would have changed the way I crossed. I don't know if someone's wondering that, but just keep that with you. And Stacy, I got to move along because I'm almost time for the end of the show. Thank you so much for calling, and lots of love to you, Stacy. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Stephen. You too. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. And let me just go to the last caller. Hi, this is Stephen. Who's this?
Hi, Stephen. It's Denise. How are you?
I'm good, Denise. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Denise, as soon as I heard your voice, I heard I. It's one of two things. I never get that letter, so I don't know if you've got someone connected to you like Irene or Ira or living or past, or they're talking about someone's I, like someone either living or past that there's a reason why they're giving an I. So do you know if like anybody in your family or connected to you that's an I name?
No.
So if you don't know, and that's kind of one of those names that stand out, just keep with you because there's grandparents here that are stepping forward and keep talking about the I. It feels like someone's got a patch, or there's someone that was having issues with their eyesight either now or when before they crossed. Make sure you keep it. And I also keep hearing, I don't know if this is a George John. Who's the GJ name connected to you?
I have an Uncle George.
Well, know that Uncle George is just waving and letting you know that he's here, but also someone's name's passed down too. Because I also heard Junior. Not that it has to be an actual Junior, but someone's name connected to you. Father, mother, son, daughter, somebody's name, middle name, first name was passed down that they keep giving me. And there's also a really strong Billy, Bobby, Brian. Who's the B?
I have an Uncle Bob also. An Uncle Bob.
Wow. So we got Uncle George, but is Uncle Bob here or crossed?
He's crossed also.
Well, isn't that so cool that you have one uncle and then the next uncle, all letting you know that they're here? I'm giving that as a validation. And they also just talked about somebody having an issue with, or when I say issue, either it's about a car. Either someone's check engine light comes on, or inspection issue, or registration someone's got to get done. Did someone just do something recently with the car?
No, not recently.
This is recent, Denise, because they wouldn't give it to me unless did somebody connected to you work on cars or love cars or something like that with cars.
Well, my Uncle Bob used to work on cars with my other uncle who's alive still, so that might be what it is.
Oh, Denise, that's exactly what it is. So just a way to decipher it's him and not the other uncle, which is kind of funny and kind of cool. But there's who's the mother figure? Is that your mom? Is your mom here or crossed?
No, my mom's here.
So then it's going to be then either a grandma or sometimes I even go with a mother-in-law. But Marie, who's the M? Name.
I have an Aunt Mary that had passed.
Denise, dear God, this is like the aunts and uncles show for you. They're all stepping forward, which is cool. I just asked them, is there a reason why all aunties and uncles are coming through? And it's kind of weird and cool that I just heard your aunt say it's just as a reminder that it's not just the immediate family that's with Denise. Is that it sort of expands out. It's a way to say you've got so many people in spirit that are with you every second, Denise, and that's why your aunts and uncles are giving that as a validation that you've got so much help with you on that other side that watch you and protect you and guide you. It's just a beautiful connection. So, and I'm out of time, Denise. Listen, thank you so much for calling, and I'll leave you with lots of love. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Have a great night, Denise. So like that, the show's over. It flies by. Make sure, go to my website, stephenthemedium.com/Halloween to get either in-person tickets, October 28th, 29th, 30, 31, yes. 28th, 29th, yes, 28th, Thursday. I keep saying 27th, I don't know why. So that will be at the Canton Town Club, which is going to be amazing and so cool to combine Halloween and a live event, being dressed up if you want. I love it. And then the virtual Halloween on the 31st, if you're not local and you can't get to it, all on my website. Stay tuned for more information on the documentary. As a matter of fact, during the show, the director, producer of the documentary is texting me, and I don't know what that's about. So maybe some more info I love. And on behalf of Coach Elix, I know he misses not being here. So he comes back home tomorrow night from Texas. I will pick him up. And by the way, yesterday I brought him... he's spoiled. He says, I'm spoiled. I left at 4 a.m. to bring him to Logan so that he didn't have to stay over the night before or take an Uber. But that's just what we do for each other after almost going on 29 years. So I miss him terribly. I can't wait for him to be back tomorrow night. And Mark, thank you. Mark produces the show. Check out his show, 3 to 5 before my show, Mark's Jukebox, which is really, really cool. And I hate to say this, but next week we're not here because we are away. But I will definitely tune into Facebook because I'll do lives, Facebook lives, as well as Instagram. And definitely I will tie in a night to do reading. So everybody, thank you. And I will leave everybody with lots of love. And see you soon.